Good morning, guys. It is Friday, the 8th of January. Happy New Year. So this is probably the first video of 2021, and hopefully 2021 is a little calmer than 2020. I know 2020 was a year of marathon jobs, at least in our sector of the trade. We didn't know if we were going to get shut down, so we were constantly working, constantly scheduling, to the point where a lot of the guys burned out and needed time off. And as we bring guys in and we get them acclimated to my sector of the trade, dressing, or I guess proper dress codes are now becoming, it's almost as if I have to explain this to people, but I'm going to explain this to helpers or whoever else may be listening. Dress the part of whatever trade you may be in. If you're in a residential portion of the trade and you're not in stick framing, you're actually in front of customers and clients, by all means, you're going to be dressing differently than on a commercial site or on stick framing. On stick framing, you might have insulated jeans, correct boots, okay, insulated boots if it's the winter time, but dress for that part. Don't go to a stick framed house and wear a thin pair of 874 Dickies, okay? You're gonna get cold and you're not gonna be able to work. Okay, so invest in a pair of Dickie overalls. They're not that much. I think they might be $100. But when you get onto the site, it'll make your life easier. Okay, so it's more about dressing the part. Don't disrespect yourself. Okay, have respect in yourself. Have respect that you're in this trade. Okay, this is not a trade that is a dumping ground for labor, okay, or a dumping ground for misfits. This is a respectable trade, and you should take respect in yourself, all right? So don't dress like you're going out with your friends, all right? If you're for residential, wear pants that fit, that are up to your waist with a belt on, tuck your shirt in, and even if your company doesn't have a uniform, apply some common sense and look at what tradesmen wear. If you're in the residential side of things, I like to use an example of this old house from like the 1980s. They would have, like, with my guys in my company, it is cream colored pants, a tucked in shirt. If you don't have your company logoed shirt, a nice flannel that fits, tucked in, look presentable, okay? Like, look respectable for what trade you're in. If you're in the industrial side of the trade, then by all means, you're gonna have a different dress code. But know what portion of this trade you're in and investigate what a responsible tradesman looks like for that portion, all right? Oftentimes, I'm having this conversation with grown adults that I shouldn't be having this conversation with. I shouldn't be having a conversation with dragging a comb through a beard. Okay, if you don't brush your beard, they can look awfully straggly, and you don't want to go in front of a clientele looking that way. You shouldn't want to go in front of your boss looking that way, or anyone superior to you. Okay, you want to take honor in being a part of this trade, okay, and it will go a long way. All right, that type of discipline will further your career. So by all means, know what part you're in and dress accordingly for it. So this helps not just with compensation, but it carries through into your job as well. All right. So some of these guys that are in the field today, and it's not everyone, but some guys feel as long as they do the electrical correct, they can do whatever they want. As long as the job gets done, and that's not a good way to look at this trade. All right, don't get me wrong. There's guys that are 100% correct that they can have that view, and oftentimes their compensation will show for that. All right, because that's their mentality. Their mentality is, I can do the job. It doesn't matter how I dress. It doesn't matter how I present myself. Look at my work. Okay, well, that it's just not a healthy way to look at it. All right, there's more. Not everyone understands electrical, so not everyone understands what you did was correct or how it looks. Okay, so especially like in residential, if you go in front of a client doesn't know electric. What that client sees is your hair combed. Okay, do you look like you had a decent amount of sleep that night? Do you take care? Do you smell like cigarettes? I'm sorry guys, but if you're in the residential field and you're going in front of clients, don't smoke in the van 5 minutes before you go in front of a customer. Okay, that's not respectable to the customer. You're gonna stink their house up. Your clothes smell, the drop cloth smell, your tools smell. Everything smells like a cigarette. I try to, you can't, like, I try to say no smoking in my vans at all, but by all means, some guys don't like to listen. But roll the windows down or smoke outside of the van when you're, maybe not when you're getting gas, but when you're at Wawa or wherever you may be. All right, so sometimes, I don't know if guys just don't think, maybe they just don't care. Okay, but if you don't care, then you're hurting yourself. All right, like with the way I try to arrange my service calls and my jobs, when I send a guy out on service calls, if that customer likes him, I will always send him to that customer. And as he builds his own client base, I'll start feeding him commissions off of that because he's growing his own little area of the business. And that's beneficial to him as well as it's beneficial to me. And that's how I try to get my guys to view this, is that you're not just representing my company, but you are representing yourself as well as my company, and you're trying to grow something bigger. A lot of guys don't have that mentality. A lot of guys just, I don't know what they have. I try to figure it out sometimes and I try to help, but if you're new in this trade or you're coming up in this trade, respect yourself, dress appropriately, and it'll benefit you. God bless. Enjoy your day out there. Be safe.